What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of Cities Skyline. My name is Splattercat. I'm happy to have you back in Bimington as we take a look around for things to take care of. Actually, at the moment, there's not a whole lot of needs that need to be satisfied in this area, and I'm thinking it might be a decent plan over the course of the coming episodes to start setting up some contingencies in other areas. Now, which direction do we want to develop in? I'm thinking to the left is probably the wisest decision because it has the most equitable land. No, that's not land for horses. That's land that we can make money off of and also use to its optimal output. However, instead of thinking about outputs for right now, I think we just want to take a look and talk about the things that we accomplished in the last couple episodes. I apologize if over the course of the next week or so my voice sounds kind of bad in these videos. I came down with sort of like a, I don't even know. I'm not even sure what it is, but my voice is raggedy right now, and I'm not positive what caused it. It just sort of happened, and so if I sound a little bit off, just rest assured I'm fine. Something weird is just going on. Over here in Bimington, on this side, we've got Ridgewood taken care of. It looks like traffic is actually, it's not too bad anymore. There's a little bit of a problem by this off-ramp. I think that this intersection is still causing a lot of issues. However, I think I'm just going to leave it alone for right now. Further development in this area is only going to make the situation worse. By and large, traffic is still continuing perfectly fine along this highway, so as long as it can make it further on down the road, we should be okay. Our options for expanding can be either to the south. We can start out down here, and instead of leaving things how they are in the pits and Mulch Money and Broxton, we can actually start hooking off to the left and maybe doing something over here near this lagoon. Other problems have been seeing to their own conclusion on this side, which is really, really good. If you take a look, the pollution is disappearing, which is super stellar. That's actually one of those things. It is flying through the stars right now. I mean, that's the best I could have asked for. It is skyrocketing at the moment with regards to the lack of pollution being around, and I know those two things don't really seem to mix. Like, it seems like the metaphor for things shooting upwards would not work for a decline in something, but you know what? I'm going to call it a meteoric fall in our pollution levels. Now, it hasn't helped out much over here, but I'm assuming it spreads slowly. I actually hadn't noticed this happening, but it's lucky we caught in on that when we did, because we had some serious problems with our outflow getting caught up in our inflow, and so I'm really, really glad we managed to get that taken care of. Over on this side, we've got a whole bunch of incineration plants that are working up to optimal spec, I think. Actually, that one's only got 45,000. We may not have enough trash to go around in some of these, although that might be a good thing. So, that leaves us in a very, very interesting situation where we can bulldoze you, and we can bulldoze you, because now we don't need as many landfills, because our landfills were land full. Therefore, we tried to come up with a way to make them less full, which was these incinerators right here. However, we may have too many incinerators now, too. I'm not so sure. Let's have a look. So that one's got 40,000 in it, that one's got 30,000. Yeah, they're actually way, way, way below optimal spec. And I don't think that this place is actually filling up quite as rapidly as we expected it to. How are these incinerators doing down here? 2 incinerators, that one's got 200,000, so that one's still going, and that one's really going as well. Those are both at basically 50% capacity. We've got buildings burning down, but honestly, I think I'm going to look towards the future. We're going to stop worrying about all this over here. It's all working in equilibrium with itself. We have a little bit of a traffic jam over here, but it's not really a traffic jam, actually. It's just red lights. It's just red lights causing things to get a little backed up. I've learned some lessons. That's the good thing, is that from all of this, we've learned some lessons along the way, and so I think we can do better and better and better. People have asked me how long this series is going to continue as well. I don't know. I haven't really set a threshold for when I want to get out of the city building business. It'll probably happen along the way as other things get released and things get done. Since the game has no end, it puts me in a little bit of a slippery situation. I'm feeling very much on the side of a hill right now with regards to how I want to make this work, but I don't know. I'll keep you posted. I figure we'll probably go up to, like, no, that's not what I wanted. That's the last thing that I wanted. What are the thresholds that you can actually get to? So there's a population of 32,000. Is there a location where I can look where it says, like, the actual, I don't know. I don't know exactly what we're shooting for right now. I figure we try and get it up to maybe like 1 million or something. I mean, having 1 million population seems like it'd be a really, really cool thing to do within the confines of the game. So I figure we'd let it happen. On this side, so let's buy some land over here, and let's get started making things a little bit more expansive, shall we? We're going to make like an MMO and just keep expanding. We're making a lot of money right now, so we might as well put it to use. Pausing the game, we see that we have some very, very serious industry needs. Not really a whole lot of commercial needs, but everything else seems to be okay. There's some options of what we can do down and in here. God, my roads are atrocious. We could, all things considered, this comes back this way, so we could branch off this way and then do another confining road down and on that side, which would make Broxton and the pits and mulch money even larger, and then we could fill in this area. However, I think I want to expand out a little bit, so let's go over to what we can purchase right now. And I think I'll probably go for you. Yes, you are now part of my land, and I shall call you my land. Over on, is there nothing else that we can buy right now? What is the problem? I would like to buy another piece of land, namely this one right here. No, you're not going to let me buy that one? Okay, well maybe it expands as your city gets larger. This over here is not going to be accessible then for a little while. That's unfortunate, but that basically helps me sell this plan down here to start out in this area. So maybe we make a little suburb down here. That's going to be going that way. That's going to be going that way. Therefore, by that principle, instead of having the highway go out this way, we will have a little tiny, what are we on right now? We're on just this little guy here, huh? Okay. That's cool. We'll drop that in right there. We'll bring it up by another layer. And then in the service of that, I kind of want to make this one look robotic. Let's make this one look robotic. Like intergalactic planetary building and overpass. That actually ended up looking far better than I thought it would. Weirdly enough. Weirdly enough. Okay. Well, we'll page down that for a second. And once that on-ramp has concluded... Oh, wait, we'll go down one more. Hold on, I didn't finish it off. There we go. We got to get that thing down. Whereas normally I focus on getting my interpresses or my, I don't know, my interstates up. We're going to focus on getting them down right now. And so now that we've gotten that taken care of, my suggestion would be that we start free drawing some roads down here in our little self-contained area. And so we've already taken care of that, which means that the off-ramp over here is going to be nice and easy peasy. We can also make some other ones connect if we wanted from the south, but I'm just trying to make use of this little elbow right here, and then we'll focus on this one over here in a second. I think we might be overdrawing on this highway slightly, but I don't think there's any way to really tell until I get used to... Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to figure it out until we get a little bit further in. I do like the way the one-ways work. I think that that's been working pretty well for us around the outside of this guy right here. And so I think I'm going to stick with that plan right there because it avoids making intersections. And as I understand it from all of you, yes, I do read your comments, it seems like the intersections are what's clogging everything up in everyone's opinion. So we'll go out over to here. And once that's been taken care of, the music gets so booming in this game sometimes. That's a really, really nasty elbow right there, and I don't think that I like it very much. Maybe we'll take this back slightly, and we'll rethink that plan. I think that might be wisest. And I am interested in wisdom right now. Not general wisdom, but, you know, just like sort of wisdom. Like maybe wisdom that... Ooh, yeah, that'll work. Possibly. Seems feasible. Maybe. That road seems a little too straight, though, and it's weirding me out. There we... Well, maybe. Maybe take this in a little bit tighter. It's weird how you, like, don't really know how the road draggy tool works, but, like, as you get used to it, it sort of just, like, becomes second nature. I don't know. Does anybody else find that weird? How you can, like, learn how to do something by second nature just without even fully understanding exactly how it works? Every time I hear the word artisanal, that's kind of what I feel, too. Like, artisanal means that they don't exactly know what they're doing, but they sort of do. So then maybe you could say that my city building is artisanal at this point. I don't know. We'll corral that in for a second. Yeah. And I think that'll work out. This will give us another little development area that we can fiddle around with. I don't like these breaks in the coverage. It makes me upset. They're breaking off a piece of my coverage zone. And this episode has been brought to you by Kit Kat. I love Kit Kat. I would take that endorsement in a heart. I apologize, Nerdcastle. If they ever hit me up with any kind of candy endorsement, I might just sell out. Candy is delicious, and I love it. I love candy so very, very much. You know that song, I Love Candy? That they wrote that for Splattercat. That was all Splattercat's fault. They were like, you know what we should do? We should write a song for Splattercat called I Love Candy. And so there's a couple of off-ramps right there. I think this is probably where we're going to have the biggest problem. But this does leave a nice little open airspace in the middle. And I don't mean like a place that you can fly a plane. I mean that a place that we can just leave trees and not totally destroy everything. We shall call this the Bouticle. And so anything that we put in this area will be called the Bouticle because that totally looks like a foot with a weird lumpy protuberance on the top. Anyways, what do we want to do with all of this land? Well, I don't know if I want this to be intense development or if I want this to be sort of suburban development. I haven't really decided. I think that suburban development is probably the best plan for right now, given the fact that we already have a high density zone up here. Unfortunately, our city is not growing. These buildings, I wish that they would get larger. It looks like they're attempting to upgrade, but they're just not quite there yet, and that's going to be largely limited by education, as I understand it. And so if we take a look at our educational listings right here, our education's doing really, really solid in most of these buildings. The only exclusion right here are these little tiny, I don't even know what to call these. They're like single, I don't know, they're like single blockwork flats, I guess. They're not actual full apartment and condo buildings like everything else. That's the business you want to be in right there, condo rentals. You just hope that, like, the economy doesn't fall out from underneath all your land that you own. It's kind of an interesting thing, but land ownership, as I understand it, I've talked to several financial advisors, and apparently land ownership is like the way to go. Like, land ownership is the jam of the universe if you're trying to make money. I don't think we're gonna need... Are we... I have a question right now as to what type of road we should build. If this is going to be suburban, and also if this is going to be suburban over here, which I think it shall. I'm pretty sure I would like for it to be. I'll probably have another road branch off to the right there. Unless maybe that's too much feeding into one area. Maybe I'll have a road go off right here or something once we get this all built in. But I'm thinking this is looking really good right now. I love the way the game just comes together. That's something that can't be understated. Like, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. I'm sort of working my way through this as an uneducated fool right now. But I still like how pretty it all looks. It looks shiny at the end of the day. It looks quite polished. So, 6-lane roads seem like overkill. So I think 4 lanes might be the best plan down here. And in completing something like that, I don't know if I want to add to this intersection right now and make it worse. But I will, because damn the consequences and the torpedoes. They don't tell me what to do. I never take orders from torpedoes, so take that, you dirty little projectiles. If I go in right there, that should be okay. And this is 4 lanes, right, that we're coming across. We have lots of intersections, and I'd prefer to keep that to a minimum, unfortunately. But to do that, would it be better to go from this direction then? Like, let's say just for a moment that I go in like so. You gotta widen your roads like this. That is. That looks pretty good. It looks like it has one of those socks on now. Like, you know the socks that you buy where they're white on the top, but they have like the gray area on the foot? It's as though the sock is telling the universe, apply force here to like the gray areas only. It's only to the gray areas, though. You're not allowed to. I suppose if we loop it around a little bit, it takes on a whole nother look. He's got like weird polygonal balls, though, if we go that way. And that was totally unintended, but whatever. It should be fine for right now. Maybe these longer roads should be thicker. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm kind of proud of that road, so I'm going to leave it where it is for right now. But maybe if we take like a 6-lane from the top down to... It might be worth it. People said you could make another roundabout, an internal one almost. It'd be weird, and if it worked, it'd be kind of fascinating, but I can't guarantee that it will. We can try for it in here and see like what we can develop. I mean, we can go like so. And then let's say that we go out from right there. This city may end up being a mess. Let's see. I get quiet whenever I do this because I mess it up whenever I talk. Sort of ugly. Sort of ugly, but now it looks like a robo-boot. It looks like something from the future. It looks like a sock that you would wear in like 2075 in the age of the future after the Argonne assault. Let's see here. We've got that taken care of. We might be using too many big roads right here. Then again, as I said, I'm sort of an idiot when it comes to this stuff, so no plans as of right now to do this properly. Maybe bring another road down this way, possibly. Get it sectioned in. I'm just playing with stuff right now. If your curiosity is like, what the hell is he doing? Just playing with stuff. Just playing with stuff. I do like the fact that you don't really have to try too hard at this game. That makes me happy. I was a little bit worried as a city builder it was going to require some like ramp up time to be properly learned. However, you can pretty much sit down and after your first couple sessions, you can make a city out of just like whatever you want. Take that into right there. This place is going to be a mess of traffic, I can tell already. It is going to be a mess. But then again, that was kind of the goal, was just for me to play with things. So it'll probably be alright. Take like little roads and make them go down here. There you go. There you go, Chief. That'll work. That one up in there. Maybe like another little one right in here. And then maybe make the roads all like swoopy-doo style. So that maybe at the end of the day, we take this all the way down to there and we make it curve in. It looks pretty good. I think that's acceptable use of space. It's a little bit wasteful like in this little central area right here, but I think by and large, I prefer the way that it's turned out. Well, I don't prefer it. I mean, I think it looks a little bit rough, but I think it'll work for right now. And so what I want around the outside is mostly going to be mercantile, I think. However, I'm going to avoid developing that for right now. Let's put in our services first. So we will go high school. Oh yeah, the roads do turn green, don't they? Okay. So that appears to be the game denoting what areas you can get the green coverage to for your school. How I didn't notice that before, I don't know. But I've noticed it now. And that means that we need one over there and one over there. For this school, that means we need one there. Like one there. One there. And it seems like most of the coverage is like good at that point. At that point, the coverage seems fairly solid. So we'll leave. Did I only have two right there, though? Maybe this little area over here could use it. There we go. So now we're looking good. We got like 4 schools in the area. We don't need to put in a uni because we already have one over here. And the unis appear to pretty much take up giant slots. Yeah, look how much. You can see the roads right there. I guess it's assuming that most college students have the ability to get around somehow, whether by bike, train, airplane, whatever. I don't know. My transit options were very, very limited in college. However, I made it work. I made it work. We might go for a little bit of industrial down here because we need it. Let's start out with our painter tool. And we're just going to get going. Let's call this over here our first new residential zone for the suburbs. How about that? And so that'll be it right there. All nice and painted in. And we'll start back here as well. We'll get that going because we always need the housing. But what we specifically need more than that, it's going to be office buildings. And so we'll go office buildings right there. That was office buildings, correct. It's been a little while since I played last. Like 2 or 3 days since my last recording session. And then once we have that, we'll put in a little bit of industry because I think I haven't quite been cooking industry as much as I could lately. You have to cook your industry. You got to make sure it's toasted on both sides. You got to put the proper amount of butter on it. Once you put the proper amount of butter on the industrial toast, you will find that the industrial sandwich becomes very, very crispy and delightful. And then we'll spread this out like so. And so we'll use the office buildings as a little bit of a buffer in between the two. The other thing that we may want to consider is the addition of a train station down here earlier on rather than later, so that people can get to this part of town when and how they need to. I think the train station should probably go in a location like this next to the freeway. It may cause traffic to bog down a little bit, but I think it will work out in the end. With the subway, wait, was that a train station or a subway? Oh shit, I needed a subway. Okay, so let's put in the substation. There we go. Waste of money? Absolutely. A giant waste of money, but welcome to how Splattercat functions. And so once we've got that, we'll bring that in like so. On this side, I had to get rid of our station, so we'll reconnect that in a little bit. But for right now, why won't that work? That upsets me. That should work. Okay, fine. We'll put the junction right there. Since you're being a poo-face at the moment. That's right, I called you a poo-face, train track. What are you going to do about it? You know, my feelings are severely hurt, and I think I might require psychiatric care. No! On this side, a guy died in traffic. He's been in traffic for so long that he passed away. Sucks to be him, but we got problems to deal with. Let's get this thing up and rolling so that we can watch it develop. We'll give it a 2 times speed, give it the old 2x. Oh, we have no electricity down here, so let's run the grid real fast, shall we? Running the grid. We should also focus on the agua system, it looks like. We've got a little bit running from right there. Luckily, these pipes over here appear to already be fixed in. So let's get these locked in now, shall we? Maybe zoomed out a little bit too far, but this should be a very, very easy task at the end of the day without leaving too many gaps in between our coverage, because there's always going to be that guy's house who's like, I'm the only person on my block who doesn't have water. I feel like our residential solutions are not properly configured right now. I hate this. Hate this town. Bimmy Town's the worst decision I ever made. I'm like, well, you should have known when you saw my name on the ballot. You should have been very, very worried. You should be like, I don't know about this. And as we develop upwards, we'll worry about that. Okay. So let's get the power grid going. We're just going to run, I suppose, carefully some electrical wires. Why won't you do that? Why don't you love me right now? There we go. So the electrical wire, run it over to here, then like to here, and from there we can take it wherever it needs to be in this first little section of the game. As this all develops out here, we should eventually be able to make contact with the grid. There it is. So the grid has made contact. Is this all good to go down here? Let me take a look. As long as this is all properly sectioned, eventually the power should creep its way over. Now on this side, we have a much greater need for jobs than we do for housing, so I think this is going to fill in pretty rapidly. But what we do need are little stores and bodegas and things. So let's throw out a couple little storefronts in there. Once the storefronts have been allocated, we'll add a few more over on this side too. And that should hold us for a little bit, which is good because I'm feeling very cuddleable today. Feeling very cuddleable. I woke up feeling like I was catching something. You know that feeling you get right before the storm of sickness where you're like, something feels off right now. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know this isn't going to be good. I woke up with that feeling this morning, so I've just been like, I need a cuddle. I need a cuddle for so the cat came in here and then cuddled me and then vomited across the room. And so apparently my cuddles are such that I elicit vomiting. It's unfortunate unless you really, really, really need some sort of like physical ipecac solution. And then in that case, I suppose I might be able to profit from my various hugs. For now, I think we just got to wait and see how this develops. So I think this is a good spot to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Cities Skylines. I look forward to seeing you all in future episodes. Thank you for joining me here at Bimington. I will see you all in the next episode. Hi do, everybody.